Not far from the ancient city of Baghdad stood an old, weathered house, simple in appearance, yet heavy with history. This house had been built decades ago by a man who was once a successful merchant, respected for his honesty and hard work. After his passing, the house became home to his two sons, Salim and Shafik. Salim, the elder brother, lived there with his wife and three sons. Shafik, the younger one, lived under the same roof with his three daughters. Shafik's wife had died years earlier, leaving him alone to raise his girls. Though their lives had taken different paths, the two brothers shared a common past, a common home, and once at least a common dream. Their father had built a large trading business, importing goods from distant lands and selling them at great profit. When he died, Salim took full control of the business. Shafik remained a partner, but in truth, most of the profits stayed in Salim's hands. Shafik never complained. He was a gentle man, soft-spoken and kind-hearted. He believed that family was more important than money, and that as long as they lived together in peace, nothing else truly mattered. He often thought to himself, "This is my brother. If he eats more, if his children benefit more, what does it matter?" Salim, on the other hand, was ambitious. He had grown wealthy over the years, and his three sons received the best education money could buy. He spent freely on them, believing he was securing their future. Years passed. Months turned into decades. Then life changed. Shafik fell seriously ill. His daughters were now young women, standing at the doorway of adulthood, facing a future filled with uncertainty. Around the same time, Salim's sons completed their education. Marriage became the next topic of discussion. Shafik hoped quietly, respectfully, that his daughters might one day marry within the family. He believed that keeping relationships close would preserve harmony, trust, and dignity for everyone involved. Salim's sons, too, felt a natural affection toward their cousins. The girls were kind, graceful, and hardworking. But Salim rejected the idea completely. He had bigger plans. He wanted his sons to marry into wealthy, influential families that would increase his status, his power, and his reputation. To him, marriage was not about love or character. It was a business deal. He often told his sons, "I'll marry you into rich families, powerful families. That's how we grow stronger." In Salim's eyes, Shafik's daughters, his own nieces, were not suitable. He saw them as poor girls who could never match the lifestyle or status of his educated, successful sons. Pride and greed had quietly taken root in Salim's heart. Shafik noticed the change but said nothing. He carried his pain silently, trusting God more than people. Deep down, he understood a hard truth. Complete trust belongs to God alone. Eventually, Salim arranged grand marriages for his sons with wealthy families. The celebrations were lavish. The guests were powerful. Everything was done with display and pride. Shafik was invited, along with his daughters, not as family, but as helpers. Salim told the girls bluntly, "You'll handle the arrangements. Serve the guests. Remember, these are important people. Don't embarrass me." The words cut deep, but the girls obeyed. They worked quietly, gracefully, serving food, welcoming guests, and keeping the celebration running smoothly. Despite the pain in their hearts, they showed patience and dignity. During the events, Salim openly humiliated his brother. "This is my younger brother," he told guests. "He's not very smart. I take care of all his expenses. He has no sons, only daughters." Each word struck Shafik like a bullet. Yet he smiled. For the sake of family honor, he swallowed his pride and endured the humiliation. He believed that dignity was not about how others treat you, but how you respond. After the weddings, everyone returned to their lives. Shafik and his daughters went back to their old home. The girls tried to smile, but their father could feel the pain hidden behind their eyes. Time moved forward. Then came Salim's downfall. One day, Salim's eldest son divorced his wife after a bitter argument. When Salam found out, he exploded with rage. In his anger, he disowned his own son and threw him out of the house. That moment revealed Salam's true nature not just to others, but to himself. Soon after, the second son demanded to live separately. The third chose to move in with his in-laws as a dependent son-in-law. Salam's household collapsed piece by piece. The powerful family he once bragged about disappeared. Only Salam and his wife remained. Then fate struck again. Salam's wife fell seriously ill, so ill that she needed constant care. But Salam had no daughters. His sons were gone. His daughters-in-law refused to help. Even the housemaid eventually quit. Broken and humbled, Salam went to Shafiq. With his head lowered, he said, "My wife is very sick. I have no one to care for her. Can you send your daughters to help?" Shafiq's heart ached, but he did not hesitate. When he saw his sister-in-law unconscious and weak, he immediately told his daughters, "Go, take care of your aunt." They did without complaint. Salam's eldest son, overwhelmed with guilt, took his mother to a healer in the city. But it was too late. She passed away shortly afterward. After the funeral, everyone returned to their homes. Salam was left alone. The man who once lived surrounded by pride, wealth, and power now sat in silence inside an empty house. Time passed. One day, Salam's eldest son went to Shafiq and asked for his eldest daughter's hand in marriage. "I love her," he said. "I stayed silent because of my father, but I want to do what's right." Shafiq had many wounds in his heart, but he replied gently, "You are like my own son. I have one condition. Make peace with your father and let him come to me with this proposal himself." It was not easy. But the son returned home and slowly began speaking to Salam again. Salam, broken and exhausted, finally listened. For the first time, pride did not guide him. With shame and regret, Salam went to Shafiq and asked for his niece's hand. The marriage took place quietly, without pride, without display, and something changed. Salim began to understand his mistakes. He realized that chasing wealth and status had robbed him of peace, that dignity comes from humility, not dominance. Eventually, Salim and Shafiq lived together again. One young woman once overlooked brought warmth, order, and light back into the house. Later, children were born. Laughter returned. Salim often thought, if only I had accepted my nieces from the beginning, this house would never have grown cold. At last, Salim understood. True peace lives in love, sincerity, and family bonds, not in wealth or pride.